My name is Bethany. I'm a junior nursing student here at JVU, and I am part of this video because I wanted to show you all that it's easy enough to make your own food at home without having to go to the caf or go out to a fast food place and eat junk food. Cooking food at home is kind of daunting for some people because you don't have your mom around to help you, but if you just talk to your friends or look up a recipe, it's actually really easy to make a really delicious meal on your own. And when you use ingredients like rice, it can be actually pretty cheap and budget friendly. So here's my video and I hope you enjoy. For this recipe we need 1 red bell pepper, 2 onions, 2 cups of mushrooms, 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger, 2 pieces of garlic, 2 cups of brown rice, a 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce, a dash of soy sauce, and 2/3 a cup of apple cider vinegar. So first, scoop the 2 cups of rice out, and you can pour this into a instant rice cooker like I have. This makes it really easy so you don't have to watch the rice. You just put the right amount of water and rice together and push the button, and voila, your rice will be cooked. So push the brown rice button and it's going! Amazing! Yay! Now first start by cutting up the onions. I'm not an expert at this, but just do what you can. I like to cut the sides so that it makes it easier to get the outside off. So cut them up as finely as you can, but it doesn't have to be too perfect. Again, I'm not perfect at cutting up onions, and you do need a sharp knife, so you might have to switch halfway through. That's part of life, that's part of cooking. So chop, chop, chop. Chop up the onions. You get the bits you didn't quite get too small. Incredible, she looks like an amateur. And it looks like I've spent enough time chopping onions, so good. Now we're gonna start by taking coconut oil and putting it in the frying pan. Just take a little scoop out, slide it onto there with your finger. There we go. And if you have the pan hot, then it'll start melting right away. Beautiful, look at that, so delicious. And coconut oil is really good for you too, so it's not Pam or anything so unhealthy like that. So put the onions into the pan, and those will start cooking. Maybe mix them up and get the oil on the onions so that it cooks nicely. Then you can leave those to sit for a couple minutes while you get started on the next step. You can turn up the heat or turn it down depending on how much your food needs to be cooked. Just feel it out. Alright, those look delicious. Yum! Alright, now for the red bell pepper. Gonna get out the middle. It's probably a better way to do it than I did, but hey, if you get it out, that works. Then cut it up into pieces. I cut it into thirds so that the seeded parts were in each bit, and I could clear those off easy into the sink. And then just slice them into thin lines. And I saw Gordon Ramsay actually taught his students to do this. You cut the inside part of the bell pepper and not the outside, because it's harder to start a cut on the skin on the outside, so it's easier to do it upside down. Add those to the pot, mix it around, get the coconut oil on everything. Look at those onions, those are cooking and they're starting to look a little bit browner. It's smelling really good too, I'm sure. Alright, next you want to rinse off your mushrooms. So just get a colander, rinse them off. I picked out the big pieces of mushrooms just to get them a little bit smaller because most of them were pretty small, so just got the big ones and making those smaller as well. So chop them up. Nothing too fancy, just so it's all more uniform. And add those to the pot as well. And those will get steamy and warm and cooked. Beautiful. Yep, and mix it around. You want the coconut oil on that as well. Alright, now in another pot, I'm starting coconut oil. And I'm actually going to switch over the food that I have in the first frying pan over and add some water just to add a little bit that can be steamed and make it easier for it to cook without burning while you work on the rest of your food. So delicious. Alright, now I'm cutting up a piece of ginger here and getting the sides off. Now this is going to add a lot of flavor to the dish once I cook it. So I got the edges off, rinsed it off, and now I'm chopping it into little pieces so that the flavor can escape well. And I'm adding those to the original pan, which is nice because it's coated in the flavor, especially from the onions. And add some coconut oil to make it not burn to the pan. So while those are cooking, you're letting your other food cook as well, keeping it hot but not too hot. Keep the temperature probably at a medium. And now we're going to be getting garlic. So get 2 cloves of garlic, pull those off, and those can be how I do garlic is I cut off the ends and then I cut along the middle like I do with the onion, and then peel off the edges because that can be a little bit of a hard thing to do. So then we put all the garlic and onions and vinegar together and we make a sauce. Also, don't forget the brown sugar. Make a sauce and then add that to the mix of vegetables that you made earlier. Look at that, delicious. And now vinegar isn't everybody's favorite ingredient. It kind of has a strong smell when you cook it, so I'm sure there's lots of other recipes similar to this that don't use vinegar, but that's just one of the ones that I did. Alright, and now the rice should be getting done soon. So whenever it's finished, you just open it up and it's ready because the rice cookers do everything for you really well. So just scoop out however much rice you want. And then there it is in the bowl. Look at that. And rice, if you buy it in bulk, rice can be very cheap and it's very easy to make and very filling. And then just add the food that we made off to the side into that bowl. And there you have it. A bowl of delicious food. Yum!